Hey guys, thanks for stopping by and just checking out what I've been up to with horror movie collecting and the stuff that goes along with horror movies related to that. Small update for me, sort of small. It's basically about a new shelving unit and a original horror movie prop that turns out wasn't lost after all. And months later, it finally showed up on my doorstep. So it's not really a long story, but kind of a long story. I just know I'm going to end up rambling if I continue on with that story. But anyway, the prop finally showed up, so I'm thankful that that happened. But anyway, about the news, I'm sort of reorganizing. I took some tapes down, and while I was taking tapes down, I did some dusting and vacuuming because that needs to be done every now and then. So all my tapes are down there right now, just to make this lighter so I can move it a bit forward just a little more to be able to have that work out and not be so tight through there. So thankfully I was able to work out with squeezing in another shelving unit that a neighbor friend of ours didn't want, was getting rid of it. It was out on the curb. I don't know how long it was out on the curb. I just happened to notice it. I scooped it up. It was free, so I just went ahead and scooped it up. I didn't know if I would have space for it or not. I just figured I'd go ahead and take a chance and then take it anyway. So it had been out in the garage for like a couple weeks. Now I had time to finally get it into the house and see if it would work out or not. And luckily it did. I just had to kind of move some things a little bit this way. Still plenty of room to comfortably move in and out, as you can see. So I'll show you that, but I'll do a quick overview on why I needed that new shelving unit badly. So here's an overview of what my books are looking like right now, as of now. So here's the first row. Decent size shelving unit. It's just more tall than anything really. It's really not even that tall. Anyway, I'm getting off track. I do that a lot. Forgive me. So first row, it's starting to get pretty full. It doesn't take long. It really doesn't. Got a few collectibles still hanging with the books. Smaller ones I'll probably keep there, but yeah, eventually the beast is going to have to be moved somewhere. But he's chilling right there. He's fine right there right now. So here's the second row. That's starting to become pretty full. So all these books I highly recommend. They're awesome. Some are a bit outdated, and but I think they're still neat to have. So that's the second row. Third row is completely full now. That's the bigger awkward size books. So those are it's completely full now. That Nightmare USA is amazing. That's a must-have book. So is Analog Nightmares. And yeah, I'm starting to ramble. So all those books are great. I haven't had the chance to thumb through all of them, obviously, but I'm getting there when I can. So did I cover this or not? Probably not. I like to keep my horror comics collection separate from the books on horror cinema, mostly horror cinema, on horror cinema. I like to keep those two subjects separate if I can. So this is just the horror comics section. I'm almost done with what all public domain archive books I want to collect from, I don't know how to say that name properly, Guandanaland. Probably not, I'm not saying that right, but anyway. I'm almost done getting what I want from, what I'm able to get from that. Almost done with that, and then I would like to focus more on the Dark Horse horror comic series with the Tales from the Crypt. I'd like to get into collecting those. And then, of course, the Vault of Horror. I want more of those. And then what's completely new to me that I've never even heard of until I started getting more into that is the Haunt of Fear, that series. It's completely new to me. I don't know anything about it, but it looks really cool, and I would like to start getting those when I can. There's already a few pre-orders up for the Haunt of Fear, and then the second volume for the Vault of Horror. I want that. Here's the bottom. It mainly consists of the Chilling Archives of Horror comics series. So, scooped up quite a bit of those since then. And then on that side is just sort of, it's all horror comic art dealing with that stuff. And horror art with Hammer movies, and just mainly on horror comics. Those books there. That's on that side, as you can see. Got my Spiky down there for now. He's down there keeping guard. So that's what that's looking like so far. The DVD section is starting to shrink nowadays, so that's awesome. I do want that to sort of slowly start shrinking. I do keep a lot of DVDs, but those certain ones, especially the lower budget stuff, I keep packed away. I really don't like to get rid of like the older SUV horrors. I like to keep those editions, but I don't have the space to like display those, so those are in storage, climate controlled storage in the house. Those are actually in the house, but displayed in another, stored in another in the basement. Anyway, I'm rambling. Let's go through here. I'll show you this new shelving unit and this original horror movie prop that finally came in, thankfully. It wasn't lost, so we have a yay, happy ending with that. So I really don't know what to do with that odd size Godzilla Blu-ray collection book. I just really hope Criterion re-release it in like standard regular packaging. I think it's cool for what it is, but it just doesn't fit properly anywhere. And for now, I just have it sitting there. I'm not big on those like weird, awkward size collector's editions. Really not. I personally don't have the space for those kind of things, but I think they're neat. But yeah, you see what I'm working with. Here's another angle of the new to me shelf. Just glad it worked out. I have the blinds up just for the purpose of this video, just to give you guys some decent lighting, lighting for me and what I'm trying to show here. I'm going to move carefully here. Eventually, I'm going to get around to doing the horror movie collection update. That's starting to pile, so I need to go make that video ASAP when I can. I will. Here is just this piece that I'm happy to have. Just grateful, thankful that I was able to get this piece from one of my childhood favorite movies is the 1988 remake of the Blob. Let me go down. Hopefully you guys can see it without the glare. The glare is going to be kind of bad, but there's nothing really I can do about that. I'm going to have this piece displayed here because I think it just feels safe, kind of tucked away back here and not in the way of, like, if I have guests come over, I get paranoid if they might actually bump into it, so I think it's safer just on this wider shelving unit. What it's sitting on is hollow, which is really cool. This is a custom piece for this display unit. It has lights underneath, and then there's like sort of randomly placed holes where the light can go through and illuminate this movie prop. And you can really see the cool fluorescent looking colors that this prop has going for it. This piece here just is of the frozen, you guys know the frozen state of the blob where it starts to crystallize, where it becomes crystal. From what I've read and heard from other collectors, that not too many of these have survived. Like they just, after the movie was done, everything was getting wrapped up, they just trashed this stuff. This piece, along with some other pieces, this particular piece belonged to actor Michael Kenworthy. The paperwork and all that's in there. I'm working with one hand, so I can't really get into all this stuff. Yeah, all that, along with autographs and stuff, that's in there. So just happy to get a piece of horror movie history. I'm not big on trying to collect original movie props. It's just, for one, it's too rich for my blood. That's a whole other hobby to get into, and two, it's too stressful. When I did go after this particular one, and then it turned out to be, what we thought was lost, in the mail. I couldn't believe it. Like, I don't usually go after this kind of stuff, and then once I went after one, and it turned out to be, you know, what we thought would be lost forever, I couldn't believe it. I was like, I felt sick to my stomach. So, but both shipping companies, we all thought that it just wasn't going to happen, but then it finally, tracking started updating months later, and it arrived, thankfully. So, yeah, one of my favorite all-time horror movies. One of those movies I'm proud that it was, most of the movie, at least all the small town scenes were filmed in my home state of Louisiana. So that's really cool. That's just something, another personal thing. And it's just a really mean, cool, great practical effects movie, and happy to get a piece of it for my collection, my personal collection. So let me guys know what you think of that. If you've got a piece of movie history in your personal collection, what piece do you have, and why do you have it? For me, it was just, it's always been a childhood favorite movie. I had to have this. Try to. I know that there's been a few pieces pop up online for sale over the years, like some of the silk blanket stuff that they used to make the blob effects. I've seen that go up. I've seen that listed. I just didn't have the money at the time to try to get it, but this time I was able to get this particular one. This is pretty much, my wife says this is pretty much my quote-unquote my motorcycle, so to speak. So I was able to get my quote-unquote motorcycle, and that's it. So it deserves its own video, so I figured I'd try to talk about my new shelving unit that I got from a neighbor friend, and then squeeze in this BLOB Prop on this video for collection update. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. And another movie that I think is awesome that was made in my home state in Louisiana is Stephen King's The Mist. Cool movie. So I wish I would have played an extra in that movie. I had the chance to, but that's when I moved out of state. Anyway, I'm rambling. That's the update for me. I got to start putting the tapes and stuff back on. And I will get to horror movie collection update. And after that, guys, I don't know if I'm going to be really that active until maybe next year. Just things are getting busy, and then family visits and stuff like that with holidays. I'll probably see you guys sometime in January. And yeah, keep collecting, and hope you guys enjoyed this update from me. I'm all over the place. I'm always going to be like that as far as like when I talk about things, and then I'll get off track. Anyway, I'm just weird like that. Later I'll do at some point I'd like to do a horror movie collection overview. Things have moved around, as you can see. The A's are starting to creep into the second row, and then the H's are they're starting up there now. So I'll do a horror collection movie overview. It probably won't be one of those video series where I'm pulling each and every one of them out. I just don't have the energy or desire to do that anymore. I just find it to be a waste of time for me. I know a lot of you guys enjoy that kind of stuff, but it's just too tiring. I'll probably just do the slow pan, do all that, and then yeah, I'll just do it that way, So yeah, all the F's are starting up there. So cool. All right, then that goes all the way down, and then the Z's, some of the Z's are up that way. It reminds me, I'm gonna get rid of that. I don't want too many spikies, so that's probably gonna come down. And I like that little small spiky side stepper there. Probably just do it that way. Just have one. I'm starting to get too many Killer Clowns things. Yeah, I'll probably just give that to one of my kids probably. And I don't think they want it. I'll figure this out. I'm rambling. Later, guys. I appreciate you stopping by. I had to make a video on this freaking the Blob, 80's Blob. I'm one of those I'm screaming for a new Blob movie. I think that would be awesome. There was rumors that it was going to happen, but I think it's kind of dead in the water nowadays. I don't know. Later.